Get in the know. Non-stop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Addison has one of the highest ceilings among wide receivers in this draft due to his blend of route running chops and his all-around athleticism. He is a 3-level route runner: intermediate,
totally agree,
deep, and short, flexibility and footwork. And the way he could get in and out of his breaks are so natural. He uses his leverage and he manipulates the defensive back consistently over and over again. And he has the highest ceiling, man.
Steve Smith on the Underdog Football Show.
Right.
Why can't we get Declan on the Underdog Football Show? One time?
That's a good idea.
Nice. I've been pulling NBA playoff slips like it's crazy on Pick'ems right now. Okay, I got my nice bank account rolling for my friends in Underdog Fantasy. Come on.
It's what you're all about.
Declan. Yeah?
It's what you're all about, man.
Fade me.
So, boys, today is the day. Today is the day that Judd Zulgad has put together his 2023 Minnesota Vikings mock schedule. That's right.
I want a mock.
Judd has been working on this, I think, all weekend.
Oh yeah,
he was in the war room or just in his home office. I don't know, drinking Surly, and he has put together a mock Viking schedule 48 hours or so before the actual schedule comes out. There was some Peter King panic there for a minute.
It's all.
Oh, they might not. They might not have it ready by Thursday.
Everybody calm down.
All right, Pete. Okay, Pete. Come on, guy. Let's calm down, guy. I don't know what that was all about.
Schedule stops for no one. Well, yeah, the problem is that they can't, you know what? The problem is that they can't decide on things like the first Thursday, who should the opponent be for the Chiefs or like prime time. But just
figure it out.
Exactly. Well, and figure it out. It used to come out in April. I actually like this more now because basically roster construction is done for the most part. But yeah, don't be pushing it.
Yeah.
Like,
and you know what?
Once you announce it, in fact, we should get a date at the start of the football calendar.
Agreed.
With this date.
We should be able to plan. People should be able to plan their travel for where they want to be for the schedule release night.
It's damn near a holiday.
People should get the day off the next day. You should get Friday off with no questions asked. Paid leave on Friday.
You used to be able to get the schedule leaked to you, which I did. Now people would die because of that.
Yeah, and it's also a big day for NFL team social media managers.
Oh, yeah.
You get, it's like this one-upsmanship. You got to put together the full skits and different things.
VEN.
So we're gonna go game by game with Judd's mock schedule here. The show is presented by our friend. This is Purple Daily Vikings Entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. Presented by TCL. They have award-winning TVs for any budget, any space, all with stunning picture quality. Saw a couple people send us their new TCL TVs on Twitter yesterday, so thank you for supporting the show. TCL makes more than just TVs. They offer mobile products, audio devices, home appliances. TCL brings you joy and simplicity through innovative technology. Learn more at TCL.com. I mean, should we do it?
Well,
how do you want to do this?
I think what we need, so this, I think we started to do this, Phil? 3-4 years back? It feels like we've been doing this for, and we started small. I think I used to try to guess the week and the opponent, right? And it's grown. And I think I did 4 versions of this one. So I think, in fairness, before I start with the actual schedule, as we grow this event, much like the draft grew.
This is going to be a live event at some point, isn't it?
We need an opening ceremony. So to do this, before I start, I would like to, instead of the Olympic flag, I would like to wave the Vikings flag, if you guys approve.
Yes, we approve.
Mock schedule release day is here.
We need at some point we're gonna need a national anthem. We're gonna need.
I thought about singing it, but I didn't want to.
Can we get a Chris Collinsworth slide in of some kind? Now here's a guy, Judd Zulgad.
I got the rollers.
He does it all in one though. You're kind of scooting on your.
Okay, I'm not. It's not perfect yet. So anyway, we got the flag now. Now we can start.
There's our opening ceremony. Okay, we've also in the past, we've picked the schedule as we've gone along.
Oh, okay.
Does that make this too complicated?
It might.
I feel like we should unveil it and then either after or tomorrow pick it.
Then pick. Okay. So maybe, okay.
I mean, we got time. It's
okay. So here's what we'll do. Oh,
not
my
a lot going
God.
on.
So we'll write that down tomorrow, and then we will, on the back half of that episode, we can pick your mock schedule tomorrow once people have, because it would be nice to be able to digest it for 24 hours.
Think about it. I agree.
Right? Okay.
Absolutely.
And then we'll be live on Thursday night when the actual schedule gets released, just so people know, on the Purple Daily YouTube channel.
Might be as exciting as what I'm about to do, but I can't guarantee that.
No, it might be anticlimactic at that point. So one more for Bob here. Just one more. All right. So here it is. The floor is yours.
On the notepad, because it's only appropriate for me to pull out the notepad. Vikings mock schedule 2023. My attempt to tell you what's going to happen on Thursday, on Tuesday. All right. Are you ready, Phil Mackey? Because I know that that this is like Christmas for you personally.
I think I'm ready. So you've given
Next has seen it.
I've now heard 2 spoilers, by the way, already.
Yeah,
you asked Declan a question about the bye week, and you said what week it was before the show. And I read your lips on the Royce episode. I know that they start on the road. Right? They start on the road.
Yeah, but you purposely
I took my headphones out.
So
but
why?
But you were like, you leaned in and you were like, the road. The road.
No, what I said was no. All right. Okay. Here we go. Week 1. And I have now gone through and confirmed dates. I don't know that I used to do this, but I did this year. September 11th, which is a Monday night at Denver, 7:15 p.m.
Wow.
Now, I looked this up last year. If you recall, they went away from having the week 1 Monday night doubleheader, and they had one in week 2, which involved the Vikings. So there was a standalone Monday night game. It wasn't like it was for several years where they actually, I think, kicked one at 6:30 Central and one at 9 o'clock. So week 1, September 11th, Vikings at Denver, Monday night. The Broncos are more the star, but you want a good opponent, and this definitely provides it. But this is game 1 for Sean Payton. Russell Wilson coming off a terrible year with a new highly acclaimed coach. The coach who oversaw the Saints win against this very team in 2009 in the conference title game in Bounty Gate. So Broncos playing host to the Vikings in week 1.
Okay, this scares me a little bit just because I do feel like Russell Wilson has gas left in the tank, and I do feel like Sean Payton is the one to get it out. If you're giving me last year's version of Russell Wilson, this is a cakewalk in week 1. This is great.
It won't be.
Maybe there's going to be some altitude issues, some cardio issues. Who knows?
Haters.
But it's almost like a trap game in week 1. Going to Denver Monday night. You got to think about this all weekend long. The season starts on Thursday.
It's a good
matchup. The adrenaline's flowing. You got to basically sit on this for 4 days after the opening kickoff. This is a tough one.
If I'm not mistaken, the last time that the Vikings opened on a Monday night was that debacle in San Francisco with Teddy. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that the last time?
Yeah. Alex Boone and the Niners ran all over them. They had someone had 200 rushing yards in that game.
He was a slappy.
Yeah, it was some random running back for the Niners. Ran for 200 plus yards. It was bad.
All right.
Actually, we do have audio from that game. This guy doesn't just like football; he loves football.
Nick Snubbin playing fast. They're getting up and snapping the ball. The Vikings are really, look at that movement. Those big guys for the Vikings are on skates.
Football!
Football, yeah! Football! Football!
Get
Well, you were serious. That really is
Trent
that game.
Dilfer was pumped about that game.
I thought you were being a smartass. That really was from that game.
We have more too, but we'll continue on to week 2 here with your mock schedule.
All right. Week 2. Speaking of San Francisco, home opener, which will fall on Sunday, September 17th. Vikings playing host at US Bank Stadium to 49ers, 3:25 late afternoon marquee television matchup.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Shanahan v. Cousins. San Francisco again, attractive. The Vikings, a very attractive team. When you have Justin Jefferson, it changes the dynamic. Like, he's at a point now where the networks are going to say, give me some of that 18, baby. I want to show him. Home opener, San Francisco. And if I can introduce one more new wrinkle to the mock schedule, I am now providing red zone ratings on Sunday games that fall in multiple windows.
Okay.
So, like, if it's a primetime game, it's a primetime game. The red zone ranking on this game, in other words, how much is Scotty Hansen going to be cutting to US Bank Stadium, live looking, somebody on the move? 1 to 10. This is an 8. This is going to be a game that's
what are the other games that you have in that window for that week?
I do not do the entire schedule,
okay.
Believe it or not, you smart ass. I don't have that much time.
That's great. I was wondering where that was going.
3:25. Scotty Hansen going to this game a bunch. No bathroom breaks. San Francisco Vikings home opener.
I was guilt tripped by Judd for golfing on a Sunday on the bye week of the Vikings instead of watching Red Zone. He was literally like, "You're not watching Red Zone, dude. It's Sunday and the Vikings bye week." It's like, yeah, it's 70 degrees, and I wanted to golf in October. I don't think
that's
a bad thing.
Golf on a Sunday. Yeah, of course.
I don't have kids, but I can only imagine that might be first. The invention of Red Zone would be second. The greatest invention in sports television history.
What, like the invention of having kids?
No. I said if I don't have kids, so it's number one for me. But if I had kids, that would probably be one. The birth of my kids. If I had
the best days
and
of your
the
life,
red zone and the red zone invention. Yes, the red zone is one of the great inventions in the history of television.
I love that you're lumping in like kids as an invention.
It's one of the most perfect things. I'm saying, as far as life moments go, the red zone is one of the greatest.
Okay, you left the life moments part out. You just started ranking. You start ranking.
I think people
things.
know what I'm talking
You're
about.
like kids.
They always say kids are like
kids
oh my God,
are number one. But red zone is
in.
number 2.
Red zone for me. Red zone. Vikings, San Francisco, Phil.
Okay, it's kind of a little bit of a gauntlet here with a tough, I think, a tough road game. Pretty much any AFC team. There's like one easy out in the AFC. So, all right, week 3 mock schedule.
All right, week 3, we get our first NFC North game, and this is actually a repeat of the exact scenario we saw last year. September 24th, Sunday afternoon, a traditional noon kickoff coming to US Bank Stadium, the Detroit Lions, who the Vikings beat barely in week 3 of 2022.
I'm Kenny Albert. Welcome to US Bank Stadium, where the Minnesota Vikings take on the Detroit Lions. That's right, I'm Kenny Albert.
The red zone ranking for this game is a 6. It's a 6. Detroit, better team now.
High octane offenses. Yes.
Exactly right. This is not your traditional Vikings, Lions ass kicking that we saw for a long time. So this is actually a tough game. It's a good game. It's not as marquee, obviously, as the first 2 I gave you.
I love the time. I think the adding of the time of game is very key. That's here. Huge. This is the best iteration of Judd's mock schedule that we have done to this point. Okay, on to week 4.
All right, week 4, your first game in October will fall on Sunday, October 1st.
This is the first day of Kirktober.
Yep. Kirktober starts, and
Glorious
it starts
month.
in good shape.
Let's go.
It starts in good shape. Vikings, after a 2-game homestand, go back on the road and are at, I believe, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Atlanta, Georgia. Noon kickoff, a red zone ranking of only 4. I think at this point in time, if I'm not mistaken, Desmond Ridder is going to start at quarterback for the Falcons. This is a trap game. Like, this is a game that you're going to have to be careful of. But you should definitely come away with a win in week 4 against the Falcons.
Yeah, this is where the schedule, because Atlanta, that division is kind of wide open, so those teams could be feisty, right? That's a trap game, I would say, especially if you win a tough division game at home in week 3, and then you get this sort of lull in your schedule. But Kirktober usually prevails. Although I would argue, I think statistically, Kirkvember is a more profitable month than Kirktober. We can double check the statistics
works though.
there.
Like it
Flows
works
better from a marketing perspective.
November, I feel like it's a little bit more of a stop and start. Kirktober just right off the tongue.
We should maybe put some Kirktober hooded sweatshirts in the old Score North shop. I'm gonna make a note of that. All right, week 5.
Memo himself. Hold on a second. Pause the show.
October.
All right,
Ross Brendel.
Yep. Hey Ross, let's get those cooking. Week 5. Under the lights again. We're back to prime time. Because I do think the Vikings are going to be I don't think they're going to max out at 5 primetime games, but I do think that they are going to be pretty prominently featured on primetime. October 8th, which is a Sunday, at Green Bay, at Lambeau Field, 7:20. Here's a guy. Sunday Night Football.
You think they really? This is the first disagreement I have with your mock schedule, actually. This is the first one I think you might have nailed the first 4 here. We'll find out on Thursday night. I don't know that the Packers are going to be a primetime team much this year. I get Packers-Vikings rivalry.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
But they've you know how many primetime Packers-Bears games they've given to those two teams when the Bears have just been awful? And
that's because Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre are sort of national quarterbacks to watch. Does Kirk fall into that category to make up for the Packers being boring?
There's Jordan Love curiosity here, though, and the Packers have a national following. So like I think if you're gonna do the Packers in prime time, it's gonna be now.
Early in the year, there's some intrigue. Okay.
Jordan Love. Here's a guy who's been playing fantastic. Aaron who? 7:20.
I just realized too, God, that week 2, you get San Francisco on a short week after that Monday night game in Denver. God, that's kind of that week 2 game is. I'm just thinking about them. I'm going back here in your mock. That's a tough card to draw there.
Those first 3 games I gave you are tough.
And then I think San Francisco opponents last year were like 0-15 in the first 15 weeks of the season. The week after. Because you just get so banged up playing San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
So that week 3 Lions game becomes almost impossible.
That's right.
So you could be staring at an 0-3 here if you're not careful going into the Atlanta game.
That's a problem. Mm-hmm. That's huge. Your start is huge. Okay. Week 6.
Week 6 of the mock schedule.
Back to a deep breath. Tough game. Your third divisional opponent in 4 weeks. October 15th, you're playing host to the Chicago Bears at noon. Red zone ranking a 5 right now. Room to move up. Justin Fields, Kirk Cousins. I don't know. I have no idea what to make of the Bears. I think that they're going to be improved. But right now, red zone ranking of a 5. Yeah. Vikings Bears noon kick October 15th on a Sunday.
Not totally sold on Justin Fields yet. He can move a little bit. Fine. Very insulated in that passing game. Well, so that'll be a fun little Brian Flores defensive. Do you go all in and try and fluster him, or does that sort of backfire on you? Does his mobility? Do you try to keep him contained as a pocket passer? I don't know. Week 7. Let's go to week 7.
Week 7. I teased this a little bit yesterday, and now I will do the unveil. Stella, thank you. October 19th is a Thursday night.
Oh, I was doing math there. You're like October 15th to October 19th.
So you got another short week. You've got another short week.
Brutal schedule, Judd. What is happening?
Their schedule is tough. You are going to face Adam Thielen and the Carolina Panthers, 7:15
home
on Thursday. No, at Carolina.
Oh, Carolina this year.
At Carolina. Dude. And here's the thing, though. I did spare the Vikings from the league is now allowing 2 Thursday night games per team. I'm not giving the Vikings 2. This is their only Thursday night game. But I feel like Carolina's not really a primetime team because they're not really a Sunday night team yet for sure,
Yeah.
and they're not a Monday night team.
They're
might
a Thursday
be
primetime team.
They are a classic Thursday night, like Jacksonville, Carolina,
Number
Tennessee
one overall
Titans.
pick.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So locally, it's Adam Thielen revenge game against the Vikings. Nationally, it's hey, come see Bryce Young play. So I feel like Carolina's a perfect Thursday night team, and I feel like this is an intriguing game. I can't really torture it into being a Monday night game yet, although I might be wrong.
Interesting. And if it plays out this way, which I'm not doubting the precision of your mock schedule at all, the Vikings would have played the most games in the fewest amount of days, weeks 1 through 7, because your season starts on a Monday.
Yep.
And week 7 for you wraps on the Thursday.
Yep.
So you'd be cramming in basically 7 games in like 6.5 weeks.
Yep.
Into a short time period. So,
Yep. It's tough. Nobody said it was going to be easy.
Okay.
You're coming off 13 wins, and you are a desired opponent.
All right, week 8.
All right, week 8, another revenge game, but this one a little bit simpler because it's at home. It's at noon on Sunday, October 29th.
Off a mini bye.
Yep, exactly. Eric Kendricks and the Chargers come calling. Red zone ranking, Herbert Cousins, an 8.
Yeah, this could be a track
So
meet.
it's a noon game, but I think it's a very desirable game. It's a very fun game. And so you have this game, marquee quarterback matchup, high red zone ranking, and a very interesting game to me.
Yeah,
Brandon Staley against Kevin
one.
O'Connell, 2 good friends, one on defense, one on offense.
Yeah, this could be tough, but you get the built-in mini bye coming off the Thursday game. It's a home situation, and you can sleep in your own beds. All right. So are we to the bye now?
We are, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
The buys will fall between weeks 6 and 14. If I'm not mistaken, the Vikings bye in 2022 was week 7. I'm pushing the bye back a bit because of what Phil said, which is I've expedited the actual schedule itself. It's tough because it's sort of condensed. So I think a week 9 bye in November is very fair.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And for the YouTube audience, here's the schedule on the screen, the bold
Look at this
denoting
production.
prime time games for Judd's mock schedule here. So here we are.
Declan did a great job. This looks fantastic.
Look at this.
Yep.
Great work by Declan.
Shockingly, only one spelling order that had to be pre-checked by AJ Fredrickson of all people. So shout out to AJ.
Nice job. So we've got through the first half of the mock schedule here, we've got 3 primetime games in the first 8. And you've got, evenly split 4 road, 4 home in the first 8.
Yep.
Nice work.
2-game
Nice work
homestand at one point. So I feel like the schedule is tough, but their schedule is tough. Like it's got a lot of opponents that right now look tough as well. But I think what I did was pretty fair. I will get to one that I will tell you I flipped it because I thought it was unfair.
I'm waiting for like the 3 straight road games or 3 straight home games, which sometimes happens here.
It does. I tried not to do that, and I hate that both ways. 3 straight home games to me, I can't stand because it's too much. 2 is great. 3 schedules, in my opinion, not long enough to like. If I'm a coach, I don't want 3 consecutive home games.
Well, and since we're sitting in the bye week here, this would be the time where Judd gets annoyed at Declan for not watching non-Vikings football games all day. Declan's probably golfing at the Meadows at Mystic on this bye week 9 is my guess.
Absolutely. I love these carts at the Meadows at Mystics. It tells you your yardage, especially when Dex tweets is flirting with breaking 100. He really needs to make sure, am I 120 out? Or am I 50 yards out? Because Dex doesn't have good depth vision. Okay, sometimes his contacts
ultimately
aren't in.
Probably doesn't even really matter.
To Phil's point, 9-iron versus a pitching
waiting for the
wedge is
green to
important
clear
know.
off. It doesn't matter, guy. Just hit.
Hurry up, fellas. Go to Meadows at Mystic Lake. You can go to book these tee times now at golfthemeadows.com. It is gorgeous out finally here in Minnesota. The Meadows at Mystic Lake is a great place to golf at. You have the Meadows Bar and Grill too on the patio. Go to golfthemeadows.com to book your tee time now.
Also, a new partner of ours here on Purple Daily and across Score North, Power Lodge and Miller Marine, your home for throttle therapy. Okay, another disappointing end to a season for the Purple. Takes you about 7 months to dust it off and, get back in the saddle. There's nothing like exhaling as a Purple fan and hopping on one of these glorious Bennington pontoons, Judd Zulgad.
This thing's incredible too. Like, look at all of the potential options, gadgets. Like, I used to think of pontoons as like, big pontoons that sort of move slow. These things are absolutely gorgeous. And throttle therapy, I'm going to tell you right now, Wild fan, Wolves fan, Vikings fan, Twins fan, throttle therapy is the only way to handle your Minnesota sports stress. That's right. Relax, unwind, let all of your cares go on a Bennington.
Spending your days floating on the water and enjoying the summer sun starts with a trip to Miller Marine or Power Lodge. Power Lodge in Brainerd, Onamia, and Ramsey, Miller Marine in St. Cloud, powerlodge.com and millermarine.com. Tell them Purple Daily sent you in for a visit. All right, we've now reached week 10. The Vikings start the second half of their season. Judd's mock schedule.
All right, week 10 will fall for the Vikings on Sunday, November 12th. Another noon kickoff. This time, and this is not bad. It might be windy. I don't think it's going to be super cold yet, which is a good thing. At Chicago.
Oh, my.
Red zone ranking of 5. Because, again, I don't know if the Bears might. Well, I think they'll be improved.
Yeah,
but I still don't know. But, yes, at Soldier Field, noon kickoff, November 12th, week 10.
It's been a house of horrors for them typically, but recently the Vikings, I believe, have won 3 in a row.
They've done well
Might be
there
3
now.
in a row.
Yeah. Well, the Bears are who we thought they were. The Bears are who we thought they were. I think they need one more year to cook on this roster. Yeah. All right. And to week 11 here.
Week 11. This one might be cause for pause, cause for conversation. It is in the second half of my schedule, the only primetime game left for the Vikings.
Oh.
It's a Sunday night game. It's November 19th. And coming to town are Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, goodness.
7:20 kick. Sunday night, U.S. Bank
Inject it.
Stadium. The Kansas City, Andy Reid and Mahomes against Cousins and O'Connell. Young versus old. Great football minds against great football minds. This is one of the marquee Vikings games of the season. This is nut-cutting time. This is when Tirico and Collinsworth strut into the booth. Will they strut out with a purple win?
It's also the two of the stars of the new Netflix docuseries, right? Quarterback.
Yeah.
It's Kirk Cousins. So these guys are going to be, they're going to be household names now. These two guys.
Hey, here's a couple
but they will be
guys.
Netflix famous by the time this game comes around. So, all right, that's a
big
tough
time.
sled right there, but it is a home game. The crowd's going to be lubed up on a Sunday night. That's going to be one of the most fun games on the schedule.
Will it be a pie chart of praise or a pie chart of blame? That's the only question.
Find out. Will Tony Dungy blink during the pregame or the postgame?
Don't even start. Yeah. All right. Week 12.
Yes.
We carry on. It doesn't get easier. I will say that, because week 12 will fall November 26th, which is a Sunday. It's a noon game, but it is in the jungle against the Bengals in Cincinnati.
Ugh.
Joe Burrow, red zone ranking 8.
Wow.
8.
Is a nooner here?
This is a nooner, but this is back-to-back Mahomes and Burrows that I'm giving you.
Yeah.
Put on your big boy pants.
I
And
love
this
this.
defense. This
Let's go, man.
defense, as the football folks say, better bow up. And those cornerbacks better be in mid-season form. Any time for mistakes, clear them out in the first few games, because you got no room for error.
Yeah, better to get these guys, two of the great quarterbacks in the National Football League, later in the season with how young your corner, even the veteran that you signed in free agency is 25 years old.
Yeah.
Is he your oldest cornerback? That Joe Juan from
from Patriots.
The Patriots.
I think he started as like
26.
one career game or something.
Okay, so but he's not going to play in these games.
So he'll probably be a Chris Boyd replacement on special teams, the more I look at it.
Okay.
So yes, Joe Burrow, and this does touch on one very interesting thing of this schedule, assuming health. There are some rough quarterback matchups here, gentlemen. Herbert, potentially Fields, Mahomes for sure, Burrow for sure. So like this is a tough QB schedule. I want to say a year ago, if I'm not mistaken, the Vikings missed 3 or 4. I think it was 3 starting QBs. But in those cases, it was also like Carson Wentz at times for the Commanders, which is not that tough. So anyway, week 13, December 3rd, we are now into December. And this is a game that I flipped because I felt I was unfair in my initial or second draft of this. Okay. I originally had this as being the Chargers game, but I thought to myself, are you really going to give a team, and they might, but are you really going to give a team Mahomes, Burrow, and Herbert?
I mean, the AFC teams, all of them have a schedule like this.
I know.
Where you're, pick your Pro Bowl or Hall of Fame quarterback gauntlet.
But I was really going through this with a fine tooth comb, and I decided to alter it. So week 13, December 3rd, home game, noon, Tampa Bay.
Okay, that should be easiest game on your schedule on paper, right?
RZR, a red zone ranking of only a 4. This figures to be Cousins against Baker Mayfield. Yeah, it might be a 3. But anyway, I gave it a 4. But this is another game where this game is a trap game, but you most definitely need to win this game.
I don't even think it's a trap game. I think by this point in December, that team's tanking, right? That team.
Good point. Yeah, they're going to try. Yeah, they're going to try to be terrible. So that's a good point.
Yeah. All right. Okay. On to week 14 here. We got 5 games left on Judd's mock schedule.
Week 14, Vikings fans will love to hear this, and if it happens, they will celebrate. December 10th, which is a Sunday, a 3:05 start against the Raiders in Las Vegas. Red zone ranking of a 6. Garoppolo, Cousins, not bad. But can you imagine December 10th, right before Christmas, the getaway vacation for booze, gambling, and football in Vegas?
That sounds great.
That sounds like a place maybe Purple Daily should be in December, quite frankly. I'm just going to throw that out there.
My birthday is like a few days after. Yeah, this sounds great.
I wouldn't object.
That.
Yeah, I think we need to make that happen if this goes down. Yeah, there's a few interesting road spots on here that I think we could maybe let's just see how the schedule plays out. But yep, at Vegas, I can't tell if Vegas. I don't think they're a playoff team. I guess we'll have to find out kind of how things shake out there. But
I'm not a McDaniels guy, so I think he's a good offensive mind, and I think he's a pretty good coordinator. He has done nothing so far, either with the Broncos or with Vegas last year, to prove to me that he's head coaching material.
So this is kind of the second soft spot in your schedule. If you want to look and say like early in the year, you've got them playing Atlanta, a Rodgers-less Green Bay, and then Chicago, Carolina, but 3 of those are road games.
Yeah.
And then now we get into the Tampa Bay, Vegas portion of the schedule here. So you have a couple soft spots on paper anyways.
Yeah. And is Green Bay a soft spot for them? I don't know yet.
It's still a good team. If Jordan Love's a dud, then they should be winning those games. But okay, on to week 15.
All right, I flipped a page. That's how much work was done on this. Week 15, Sunday, December 17th. The soft spot, I guess you could argue, unless this team surprises, which it could by this point. Sunday, December 17th. The Saints come to visit at noon. Red zone ranking with Carr there now, a 6. This is really, really tough because by this point, some teams that you just expect, like the Saints, aren't going to be that good, surprise you. I don't know what to expect from them, but yes, a home game against New Orleans at noon, week 15.
I like this. This is setting up for you take your lumps in the middle of the year. You take your lumps against the Kansas Cities and the Cincinnatis. Maybe you start slow with the tough schedule off the top, and then you get some games in December here where you can make some hay. In theory, you should be beating Tampa Bay and New Orleans at home.
Yes.
You should be beating Vegas probably at that point.
100%.
Okay. All right, we have 3 games left on Judd's mock schedule.
3 games left, and here is the last, what I consider to be truly marquee game. Week 16, which falls over Christmas weekend, and December 25th, this year is a Monday. The NFL has captured this day now as not a day for one game, but a triple header to basically flip the bird to the National Basketball Association. So
Christmas and football. Christmas,
everybody,
yes.
Christmas and football now. Christmas and football now. Christmas and
open your
football now.
presents early. Clear out church. Make sure
Yeah,
you
what
get done
time?
with church.
This is
Anything that dad
Football
needs
in
to
your
assemble
stocking.
or mom needs to assemble, get it done early, because game 2 on Christmas Day at 3:25 is going
perfect.
to be the Vikings in Philadelphia.
Oh my
in the,
God.
in
Oh
the
my
very city
God.
where they once threw snowballs at Santa Claus. That's right. Christmas Day. Deck the halls with a bunch of pigskin. Fa la 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 la.
Wow.
Vikings are going to Philadelphia. Fa la 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 la. They're going to get there.
This sounds
we don't
terrible.
know.
This sounds like a terrible situation for the Vikings actually in
It'll be
Kirk.
great for us though, because you know what? We can all clear our schedules and tell our significant others and families. Sorry about that. Gotta go watch the game.
I literally did that on every major holiday last year because the Vikings
Good.
played on every major holiday last year in the fall and winter.
Wait, they played on Christmas Eve? Yeah,
They
Christmas
played on
Eve.
Christmas
last year.
Eve. Yeah, they played on Christmas Eve, Black Friday, New Year's Day. It was a whole thing. Got the whole.
No, they played on not on Black Friday.
Black
This
Friday, there was no game. This is the
They
first
played
year.
on Thanksgiving Day. They played on Christmas
Thanksgiving night.
Eve. They played on
Yep.
New Year's Day.
Well, I'm giving you a Christmas Day game. I believe it'll be the first time the Vikings have played on Christmas Day since 2020 when they got their asses handed to them by the Saints.
yeah, it was
Oh, rough.
That was a
Rough.
Kamara scored what, 6 touchdowns that day? 5
Yes.
touchdowns?
Yeah,
6
it was-
touchdowns?
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Philadelphia, it works perfect. And the Vikings lost there, in week 2 in the Monday night game last year. They will go there again, not in prime time, but a standalone window, because they will be playing in the triple header on Christmas Day.
All right, week 17. 2 more games left
Yep.
in Judd's mock schedule.
Week 17 will fall on New Year's Eve Day, December the 31st. The Vikings, and this is pretty much a given now that you're going to play, I think it's your final 2 games against division opponents. That's the goal, which is actually smart. So December 31st, week 17 at Detroit, noon, red zone ranking of a 7. And if Detroit's as good as people expect, what could be a very pivotal game. So Vikings at Ford Field in week 17.
Yeah, these are, I mean, who knows what? That could be for the division, right? There could be major ramifications.
That's what I'm saying. It makes perfect sense, right?
In week 17, yeah. So they started doing the division opponent at the end of your season a long time ago, and now they've pretty much done it. You face division opponents. Is this across the league?
I think this
The
is how to
last
do it.
2
Yeah.
weeks?
Yes. That's the goal.
So it's kind of, in some ways, it's smart because it creates more drama, but in other ways, it's like some of these divisions are a wrap by the time you get to week 17, week 18. So you're taking some of the drama out of division games. But I generally like what they're doing with stacking division games at the end for dramatic purposes.
It feels like one of these 2 games in the last, 6 years has always been the Bears. But the Bears, you're not going to expect to compete. So, I wouldn't put the Vikings against the Bears here. So I changed it. I put Detroit there
Okay.
in week 17. That leaves us with 1 game. 1 game left, January 7th, week 18, to wrap up the season at US Bank Stadium. That's right. The Green Bay Packers at 3:25.
Oh, okay.
Green Bay Packers red zone ranking here of a 7 again. But I think that this allows you, because the Vikings Packers, this game could still be important to the Vikings. And I think ideally the Packers are good enough to compete for at least a playoff spot. So I'm going to have them end at Detroit and then at home against the Packers.
Wow.
There it is.
There it
For the
is.
YouTube
There's
audience.
for the YouTube audience the full schedule. This is Judd's mock schedule. So Declan highlighted the. Well, you highlighted the. So I would
The big games.
Okay,
Right?
But here's the thing. So there's 4 primetime games.
Yep.
But if you're going to highlight that Eagles game on Christmas, I would also say then we should highlight any of the standalone games, like the featured games in a 325 slot.
That's interesting. You can do the graphic next year, but I'm gonna keep
Wow.
it like this.
Wow.
Because it's
Whoa.
actually the regular primetime games. So because if Eagles are on Monday Night Football, I'm including that as Christmas Day and Monday night. So that's primetime to me.
Jeez.
He just took out. I mean, Declan just got
Just
super
saying.
defensive.
Declan, do you
this was such a fun show until this, and now
Did you wake up on the wrong side of the bed today?
No,
Dan?
uncomfortable. I mean, just because you're going to move to Woodbury
This
doesn't
was
mean you got to be in a bad mood.
Okay.
This was fine.
So instead of taking it as a personal shot, let me explain my point so that Declan doesn't get offended here. So 4 primetime games, and then I starred multiple, what you would call like featured afternoon games, not because of West Coast.
Yep.
So like home against San Francisco at 3:25 in week 2 is a featured
game.
afternoon game.
Yep, I hear
And
you.
then at Philadelphia, which is highlighted, is a featured afternoon game. At Green Bay would be a featured afternoon game. The Vegas game at 3:25 wouldn't be because that's more of a like you're playing on the West Coast time zone situation. So if Judd is correct here, and we have no reason to think that he's not with this mock schedule,
or that I am, but
they would
yes,
play
I appreciate it.
7 primetime or featured late afternoon games out of the 17 games on their schedule.
Yes. And I think what I concluded, though, is that it's not just like they should be a good team. They have now a huge, big-time marquee player in JJ, and they're playing teams that are going to be desirable, right? Like the Broncos game is going to be like, oh, Sean Payton, Russell Wilson. San Francisco is good. I feel like the one I stretched on, but I still think it makes some sense is the Panthers on a Thursday night.
No, I think that's the one that you nailed for sure.
Okay.
Pretty sure they're going to play the Panthers on Thursday night.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
makes 100% sense.
Okay.
Or they're going to flex that game to London somehow, and they're going to wind up playing the Panthers in a different country.
Flex it to London. Yeah, we're gonna put that game in Russia. Let's stick that game in Russia. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that's-
wow.
There it is. For better or for worse, there it is, gentlemen.
Amazing. Judd's schedule unveil presented by our friends at Livia Weight Control Centers, helping Purple Daily listeners lose a lot of weight over the past couple years.
Yes, they've done a great job, and of course it started with me, but as Phil just said, it also has extended to so many people in our PD family who have joined this and they have lost weight just like I did. Look at the guy on the left, a little bit chunky there. Guy on the right, completely different, and that was through a loss of 40 pounds. Now, I want you to be the latest person to join because you can go into summer looking good and feeling good. Join today and receive 3 months free plus a free gift during Livia's Client Appreciation Week, which runs through Friday. Special savings, giveaways, and more. And again, 3 months for free. So you're going to get a head start. You're going to drop weight. And most importantly, then you're going to keep that weight off because that's what they do. 855-GO-LIVEA, Livia.com, LIVEA.com, 3 months free. What more could you ask for? And of course, once you join, tell us your success story because across the board, so many people have lost weight. Livia.com.
So I think the only thing on the schedule with the times, because remember last year the Giants game on Christmas Eve, they didn't announce a time. In fact, they didn't officially announce it till the week before.
Colts game too.
Colts game.
Mm-hmm.
Colts game
Yep.
was in the same vein too. So
Yep.
I wonder if some of those like random December games or even the Christmas game is just like blank, because they want to maybe move it as one of the 3 options in the time slot too.
I think they'll set Christmas immediately, but yeah, Christmas. I think you're right. I think Christmas Eve was not set. You know what might not be set? New Year's Eve day, because you could move that to a 3:00 too. And this is going to be the first year where no network has exclusive rights to a conference. So Fox, so like when the schedule
work?
comes out, it is now all basically free games, and they will
do like a
decide.
draft, like a weekly draft for the games?
I want to know how that works so bad.
I think they're going to set the majority of those games on Thursday, but they're clearly going to do some type of draft or the league assigns them. So the whole thing of the Vikings being a Fox team is gone, which Channel 4 is going to absolutely love.
Oh, interesting.
So
Yeah,
it's
but
not
like on the clock. Like Fox is like, with the first
We'll
pick we
take
are
a-
taking.
because it used to
Well,
be
there's been a trade. A trade has been announced. Fox has traded up.
well, because it was CBS got AFC games. If an AFC team came to play the Vikings, CBS got that game. And then if the Vikings went to an AFC team like Cincinnati, that became a Fox game. But now it's going to be a free-for-all.
By the way, we actually have breaking Vikings news at the end. We can talk more about this maybe with Royce this week. But Joe Kapp passed away. Joe Kapp. He passed away sometime this morning here, according to Kevin Seifert from ESPN.com. So Joe Kapp was the quarterback for the first Vikings Super Bowl team.
40 for 60. He coined that. 40 players for 60 minutes of football. Man, he was he was incredible because he was one tough player, man.
So yeah, we can. I'm sure Pat will have all kinds of stories at some point on
what was he age-wise?
On his podcast.
He was 85.
Man, 85 years.
85 years old. Good life.
Rest in peace, Joe Kapp. So that's a wrap on this episode of Purple Daily and Judd's mock schedule. We'll see.
Take a break.
I don't know how many people submit their mock schedules. Is it like mock drafting where you can submit and maybe be like the most accurate mocker? But
I feel like it's growing. I feel like it should grow.
I know. I
don't really like to mock draft because it's done a lot and there's folks who are really good at it. But I feel like the mock schedule that I was partially put here to mock schedules.
On Earth.
You just wait. You just wait until next year when I mock the twin schedule.
Oh, that'll be good.
Oh
yes,
God.
We'll do a 16-part Mackie and Judd show.
And then on August 15th.
Oh man! All right, that's a wrap. Purple Daily Vikings entertainment. We'll see you guys for a write that down session tomorrow.